Today I'm going to be sharing something that you guys have been asking for me to use, an air fryer. I'm going to be making the famous Pok Pok chicken wings. I've never been to Pok Pok, nor have I ever been to Portland to try their chicken wings, so this is gonna be really interesting. But I did want to say that the best chicken wings that I've ever had was from the Pig and a Lady in Hawaii. It's called the Laotian fried chicken, which seems to be very similar in flavor to this one, which is like a Vietnamese style, Thai Vietnamese style. So I'm really excited to test it and make it healthy in the air fryer. So this is the recipe that we're gonna be doing, and it looks super duper simple. Really, there's just only 4 ingredients in here, so I'm already liking it. So actually the recipe in this book is written for deep frying, but since we're not gonna be doing that, I'm just gonna be using the sauce and the marinade, and then teach you a few tricks that I've learned on how to make the chicken wings extra crispy in the air fryer. Okay, so first we are going to be using, 8 cloves of garlic. That's a lot of garlic. We're gonna do it in 2 parts. We are going to crush the garlic. I'm gonna do half of it in the mortar and pestle. Really crush it down. I like to do this to get the skin off easily. Usually I'll just crush it with my knife, but since I don't have my cutting board yet, here, we're just gonna crush it like that and then peel it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we have 4 garlic cloves in here. Then we're gonna crush down into almost like a paste to go with the marinade. Okay, got our garlic. And now a 1/4 cup of superfine sugar. I don't have superfine sugar, although I feel like, is that powdered sugar or just white granulated? I'm gonna use white granulated sugar. It's kind of a lot, but it's gonna double as our sauce later as well. And then a 1/4 cup of fish sauce. So I've actually reduced this down to the ratio of chicken that I have. This calls for 2 pounds of, the cookbook calls for 2 pounds of chicken. I only have 1 here, so that's why I cut it down in half. Now I'm just gonna mix everything together. It smells really good. A lot of like Thai and Vietnamese cuisine uses a lot of fish sauce, but it really doesn't taste super salty because they always balance it with a ton of sugar as well. So just in my opinion, even though the food seems really fresh and healthy-ish, just because there's a lot of like herbs and stuff like that in most of like Vietnamese dishes, I don't actually think it's super healthy just because you're using so much sodium. So that is our marinade. He also calls for a pinch of salt. Let me just taste this real quick. I think it's pretty balanced. I mean, this was a lot of fish sauce, so I'm actually just gonna leave as is. Or do you think that I should add the salt? It's pretty salty. So now we're gonna add our party wings. They already sell them separated from the drumettes. So you have like baby drumsticks like this. They're so cute. This is actually my favorite part of the party wings. I don't actually like wings very much just because it's just like bones and cartilage. Are you more of a drumstick person or drumette person or a party wings person? The last time I made party wings was, Super Bowl from last year. And that was pretty good. But I always go for the drumettes, like I said. Just give this a good mix. Make sure each and every chicken is coated with that yummy, sticky sauce. And then you're supposed to marinate it for 3 whole hours. So I'll see you guys later. 3 hours later. All right, so I'm back. I already actually did another batch because I didn't want to wait 3 hours to do this. However, it has been marinating and the sauce actually got pretty thin, probably because from the chicken juices. So here's a trick that I've learned on how to make your chicken wings extra crispy in the air fryer. You're actually supposed to pat each of the chicken wings dry, which seems kind of counterintuitive, but then we're gonna put a little bit of baking powder on top so it kind of lightens the skin when it's cooking and make it really crispy, which makes sense. And then the extra marinade, we're gonna cook that down later as the sauce to drizzle it all over. I had an air fryer, like a different one, but it was so bulky and big. I wanted to try this Instant Pot one just because I've heard so many great things about it. And this will be a good, fun, like review episode on this too. It's not a sponsored video or anything. It's just something that I'm super interested in trying out. So there's still like little pieces of garlic that I want to keep on there. I don't want it to transfer completely onto the paper towels just because that means extra flavor that we're going to be losing. Also, I'm going through the paper towel stash pretty quickly with this, but I've been trying not to use too many paper towels and just using, actually we're using Rolly's burp cloths and those like wipes, those baby wipe thingies, not like the disposable ones, but the rags. And a ration everything these days, but it's actually getting a little bit better out there, I feel like. So, and then make sure you wash your hands really well. Now I'm just gonna set aside this marinade because we're gonna boil it off later with some crispy garlic to make that sauce. Okay, so for the crispiness, we're actually gonna be using some baking powder. I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoons. So it's actually 1 tablespoon for every 2 pounds. But since I only have about 1 pound here, we'll do 1.5 tablespoons, just so it doesn't taste bitter. And just sprinkle it on each one, and then I'll flip them over. I've actually never tried this trick before. I was researching online on how to make extra crispy chicken wings, and this was what came up on several sources, so I wanted to give it a try. But I wonder if it's gonna make it taste a little bitter, because you know how sometimes like baking powder and baking soda can do that to your baked goods if you put too much. So similar to how we would put cornstarch or rice flour if we were deep frying it to make it crispy, this acts as like the coating, except it does like a totally different thing. This is ready, so now let's unbox our Instant Pot after I wash my hands again. All right, first impression. It's pretty big. It's big, but it's not bad. There's like a textured coating. There's a textured coating. It looks more sleek than a lot of the other ones that I saw. I like that it's all black like this. And then the basket, how do I open it? The basket is half the size of my other one, like half the size tall. But I mean, for what I need to use it for, I don't think I can roast a chicken or anything in here, which I probably wouldn't anyways. But for what we're doing with the crispy chicken, and usually what I've done with my other air fryer in the past was just make like chicken sandwiches anyways, that I don't need it to be taller. Okay, our chicken wings are going in. So I'm not gonna add any extra oil to this just because the chicken skin already has enough fat that'll come out to cook it to a nice crisp. And that's the whole point of air frying anyways, is to use less oil. Okay, this looks great. I'm actually gonna trade places with these two. And then for chicken wings, you're supposed to roast it on high, which is like 400 degrees, 20 to 30 minutes for 400 degrees. However, based on my research, you're supposed to start low just to get it kind of cooked through, like medium. So we're gonna do 300. So you're gonna do medium for 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna pump it up to as high as it goes for the remaining half, just so the skin really crisps up and it gets cooked through. But I feel like 25 to 30 minutes in like a hot air fryer should be plenty of time. So in it goes. Air fry. We're gonna set it for 15 minutes. Well, let me see how far this goes. 400 is the highest. Okay, so I'm actually gonna do it at 325. Well, and then it's not super loud. Like you hear that whirling sound, but it's not super de-duper loud. But okay, I guess we will continue to move on with the next step, which is just to fry up some garlic and then cook up the sauce so that by the time that's ready, we can eat. So already what I love about it is, number one, the size is it fits underneath my shelf. Like the other one, I can't even put it on the counter right there, which is where I normally do like my Instant Pot, whatever kind of cooking things I do. The other air fryer that I have, which you guys have probably seen on Insta stories, it's so tall. And I just love how intuitive the interface is. It's just, you know, like simple press of a button for the time. You kind of do need to know what you're doing. A lot of the other ones I've seen have like presets. So if you have chicken wings, you'll like click onto that, but it takes a while to figure out which one to get to, like the menu. There's just too much going on. So I actually like how simplified this is. So now we're gonna fry up our minced garlic. Here I have 3 cloves that I've kind of cut into larger chunks. And we're gonna fry it until it's golden brown for about 3 minutes. Maybe less on this burner. That only took 2 minutes, super fast. But you want it a nice, beautiful golden brown color like this. So I'm gonna scoop it out onto a plate lined with paper towels and just let it drain. It's very exciting. It smells really good. It smells kind of like fish saucy, savory, but really delicious. Okay. Whoa. You guys, this looks so good, and we haven't even flipped it yet. Look, you can see like the bubbles already forming for the crispy wings. So I'm just gonna flip it to the other side, and then we are gonna crank up the heat. Oh, and look, there's so much oil at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that, but like it's pooling on this side right here. I'm gonna put it back in for another, I don't know, I'm gonna say 12 minutes for now, just because it looks pretty cooked. Yeah, we're gonna put it in for 12 minutes and then see. Time, start. So while that's finishing up, that gives us just enough time to finish cooking off our glaze. You want this to be boiling for about 5 minutes to kill off any of the bacteria from the chicken, just to make sure you're not gonna get sick, because we're gonna be using this as a glaze. Okay guys, so I tasted it and it's good, it's balanced, but I think that it needs a little bit of acid in there, so I'm gonna add a little bit of lime juice. And then I'm gonna use this lime zest to zest it over the chicken later. I know I'm not following his recipe to a T, but this is the way I have fun with recipes, to make it interesting. And actually it brings out the flavor of the fish sauce a little bit more, and it's like nice and balanced with that little bit of acidity. I like it. Oh. Okay, at the 4-minute mark, it says to turn food, but let's just say I think it looks done. Wow, this looks amazing. Oh, whoa. I mean, it looks like it could have been deep fried, right? Or maybe at least like baked, but it definitely looks crispy. Let me just show you guys. So the air fryer is supposed to be like a healthier alternative, and look at all the oil that drained out of the chicken. So not only are we not adding extra fat and oil from frying, we're removing some of the fat from our food. Let me go ahead and get my glaze. I'm gonna use it as our dipping sauce instead. I got some cilantro in there for garnish. We can definitely coat the chicken to make it like nice and sticky, but I want to see how the chicken stands up in the air fryer by itself to see if it's sticky. So I don't want to compromise it by adding like a layer of glaze on top. The recipe calls for mint leaves and cilantro. So I got the mint from Honeysuckle Farms. It's thriving, by the way. Mint just like is so easy to grow. But now I'm gonna add a little bit of the lime zest on top, just so it adds some freshness, and half of our garlic chips. And I'm only doing half just because after I finish glazing it, later we'll add more garlic chips so that it really sticks. Okay, so here is the air fried chicken. I'm gonna dip it into our sauce. Add the garlic chips. That's kind of a lot. Nate will love it later, I am sure. The glaze is really good. So is it crispy like frying? No. But is it crispier than if you would have baked it in the oven? For sure. I would say it's somewhere in between. The skin is definitely crispy. Like if you look at it, it's thin and it's got like a nice crunch to it, but it's nowhere near like the crunch that you would get if you were deep frying it. It's more like a light crunch from the skin that's separated from your chicken when you roast it in the oven. Like it's like that, not so much of the crunch you get from a battered popcorn chicken like the one that we made with the boba where we did deep fry it. I mean, I'm okay with that though because the flavor is excellent. And also, I feel a little healthier eating this just because look at all the oil that came out of it and we didn't have to use any excess oil. I would say overall, this is a really great substitute if you're obviously craving that deep fried chicken wings. Nothing really could replace that like fried goodness, but this comes pretty close. And actually, I don't really miss the fried chicken that much at all. See? Hear the crunch? Additional thoughts on the air fryer. I think it's good. I think it's great. Am I gonna continue to use it? Maybe I should. Maybe I'm gonna give this a try and then roast some vegetables in here just to see, because it is a lot less. Ooh, with summer coming and it being really hot outside, this could actually be a really good alternative to heating up your entire kitchen with that ovens. I have a feeling I will be using it quite a bit more. It does roast things a lot faster than a traditional oven, but by no means would I say that this is better than like a deep fryer. I haven't tried doing like panko, like a katsu. How are you guys liking that pronunciation now? I got called out so much for my katsu, but sorry. Anyways, we'll see how it works. Hopefully it can achieve that nice brown crispiness as pan frying wood. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you guys have an air fryer, I would love to hear your thoughts on what you guys use it for, and if you have a favorite recipe that you want to share, comment below and let me know. Otherwise, I will see you guys on the next Cook With Me. Bye!